This is what I need you to confront. I need you to like honestly confront this. You're saying like we've been peaceful this whole time and now we have this aggressive enemy that's come from within. This is exactly what Americans need to confront as a lie. This is the root of this fear of Islam. It's like we're all just minding our business and peaceful, and then this it's like a psychological projection of your own violence you're not even willing to confront or acknowledge or take responsibility for. Whenever a white person wants to resist immigration, there is always the leftist argument, we can all just get along and play nice. Then you see the people on the other side, you deserve to be genocided. You know what your problem is? You just lack moral authority. That's your problem. You don't have moral authority. You're so worried about what all these people are saying and thinking, but you're not worried about what's right or what's wrong. And that's your problem. Honest to God, that's your problem. Like you don't have confidence in the moral dimension. So why should it have confidence in you? If you have no confidence in the moral, why should the cosmos reward you with the fruits of morality when you have no faith in it yourself? What is right versus what is wrong? You want to be moral, be moral. This is about right and this is about wrong. If immigration is so wrong, then let's put everything on the table and know what are the debts morally. Why do we have it? Because the same people that bitch about immigration, a lot of them were also the same people that were the cheerleaders of George W. Bush when he wanted to go kill the terrorists. So what do you fucking want? It's time for some fucking accountability. Be straight with your moral cosmos. You know, you have an issue with immigration. Okay. What about right and wrong? The power comes from the masses. That's what you don't understand. The power is a reflection of the masses. You can complain, or you can become a selfless soldier. I will never look at an American and tell them, you have a right to be whipped up on this bullshit and adopt these deranged, depraved, anti-human worldviews. There's a red line in the fucking sand now, if you ask me. For example, Asmongold recently was in a clip, and someone said, what about women and children crossing the border? And he's like, yeah, kill them, shoot the women and children, otherwise they're never going to learn. And I'm just like, this is the Israelification of our society. And it's like, I'm drawing a line in the sand. It's like, you want to go be with that? Go fucking be with that. But we're drawing a fucking line. This is about right and wrong. Simple as that. If you can't have the confidence and moral authority, you don't have a nation. What do you think nations are? They just because of your chicken tendies bloodlines? That doesn't mean a fucking thing. Whenever white people say things like, I feel like I'm being crowded out of my own country and these uninvited, unhospitable guests are coming here and they have no respect for me, I ask them the question, you're speaking in the plural, what respect do you have for your own white people? What have you done to serve even the white people of your nation? How have you become a collective being? You're not a collective being, you're an individual. First of all. Second of all, well, who has moral authority is secure. If you're doing right versus wrong. It's this lack of... I will critique the problem with American and entirety of Western civilization. I'm going to critique Western civilization right now, and I'm going to drop a bomb on you. Western civilization, in many ways, is rooted in hypocrisy. Why? Because they separate the moral dimension from the material dimension. And as much as Westerners love to be moral, there's always this worm of doubt in the back of their head that says, am I being a sucker? Am I being taken for a ride? I know I'm doing the right thing, but am I doing right? And not I'm doing right, like I know I'm doing the right thing, but aren't I going to get trampled over and eaten? It's almost like morality comes at the expense of reality, you know? And then you have these Jewish intellectuals like God Saad, who are like, this is the suicidal empathy of the West. You need to become more like Netanyahu, who has no regard for morality at all. And then now I'm saying, why don't you discern the material force of your morality? Why don't you discern and have faith that what is right morally is aligned with the cosmos materially? And it's this lack of faith in that produces this civilizational ailment that has you mistrusting the cosmos, has you worried, and I'm worried about this immigrant who wants to come and take all of our stuff. Okay. Do you have the moral authority to enforce justice? That's the question you should ask. If you want justice, then have justice with a capital J, not a half-assed justice, though. You know? And it is a fundamental civilizational ailment. And if we don't start reflecting on it or thinking about it, we will get lapped as communists. We will get lapped as communists. Some call it a blind naivety. If you don't have a blind naivety toward the cosmos in the sense of an optimism, you're not a fucking American. You want to know who an American is? I'll name you two Americans that I know. Okay? I'll name you Eddie Liger and Jackson Hinkle. Two guys that always believe that what's in front of them is the light at the end of the tunnel. However fucking bad the situation is, they're always optimistic that everything's going to turn out fine and it's going to be okay. And everything's going to be fine. I mean, people have the audacity to question how American I am because of the shit that I say. But the two most American people that I know, no one can dispute their American status, exactly have this mentality that the cosmos is aligned with us, that we believe we're going to win. Don't worry. Have a lion-like confidence in the victory of our position. Things will turn out fine. We are aligned with the cosmos. That is the American way. Not this fucking God sod, fucking pessimism, this fucking like doomer black pill bullshit. Oh, like we're just gonna get overrun by immigrants and they're all just gonna, this is cynicism. This is cynicism. When you have a lion-like moral authority, you don't let cynicism conquer you. You have something to stand on with authority. Because I'm going to tell you the truth, a lot of these right-wingers or people who are afraid of they think there's a white genocide and they're afraid of it, right? Something like that. I'm just going to tell you the truth. These people secretly believe that they secretly envy the, brown or black or whatever they imagine it subject who just enjoys without conscience in their mind, like just pursues and takes and has no mediation at all. Even the Jewish Netanyahu or something, there's something about that they look at it and they envy it. They're like, although I know it's morally wrong, I'd be a sucker if I don't do that. It's like, imagine it's almost like that's where the cuck fetish comes from, honestly, because it's like they feel like they're sitting in the cuck chair and they're watching this happen, and they're like, well, am I just sitting in the chair just like watching this shit happen? And it is a fucking psychopathology that has to be dealt with, for sure. Because when you have moral authority and confidence, you're not envying people who do immoral things. You don't envy them. There's no part of you that says, I'm repressing this, because you're repressing something inside yourself because you're not fully confronting your own evil. You're not confronting the thing within that you're projecting onto others, right? And it's like, when you have a correct account of right and wrong, like, you know what to me is a powerful position? When you say, I'm not even going to entertain recognizing the immorality of anyone, immigrants or otherwise. I'm not even going to entertain that. What I'm going to do is have the confidence that what I'm doing is correct and what it is right. Then we seize power, we take the power, we elevate the moral authority as the supreme principle, as the highest law, and we enforce it on everyone, regardless of who they fucking are. I mean, that's the superior position. That's how you have a proper account, right? Like, let's say you're in England. Behead all of those grooming gangs. Fucking kill the perpetrators. Behead them with a sword. With a fucking Highlander sword from Scotland. Make it fucking medieval. Lawfully behead them. That's not because you're letting immigrants get to you and you hate them and I hate these, I hate all these brown people. No, you're enforcing the fucking law that applies to everyone, regardless of who fucking does it. Right? That's your moral authority. That's how Russia is. You know, Russia, they don't let anyone fuck with them. You know, in Russia, they don't fucking let anyone fuck with nothing. In Russia, at least institutionally, I know there's sentiment in Russia that's hateful, but the Russians have a much stronger position because they don't have a pathological hatred of the Muslims. They do understand and recognize Muslims, but at the same time, they enforce the law uniformly, and they will not make an exception for you if you break the law. If those terrorists at the Crocus thing, those guys got chopped up, their fucking ears chopped. You don't fucking break the norms, the morality of the civilization that applies to everyone, right? It's like they do not fucking let bullshit slide, right? Amila. And at the same time, they don't even fret over it. They don't lower the... Let's say there's some scumbag terrorist. They don't lower themselves to trying to, pathologize and all this... No, you fucking cross that line, you fucking get what's coming to you, right? The Russians have such a strong mentality. They have such a correct way of dealing with such issues. Because they don't look it into the face. They just say, this is the fucking rule. This is what we believe. This is the morality. This is the authority. And anybody, regardless of who the fuck they are, who falls afoul of that, gets what's coming to them. So that's how it is, That's what it's like to have moral authority. I don't entertain this position, this self-victimhood shit. It's like a true moral authority is a universal principle. You don't become a petty, hateful person who lowers yourself to pettiness and hatefulness. There's a lot of immigrant groups that are alienated, and young people, you could... Sometimes they do gloat, and I see it. They're like making memes about white genocide and shit. And then some white people will look at that and be like, this is proof that... Why lower yourself? Those people lack guidance. They don't have anything. They literally are just... Why would you envy that? Isn't it better to be more like to be patronizing, actually? Just be like, you're lower. You don't have guidance. Like the same way you see someone immature,